Hey everyone, welcome to Greenlight. So today we have a bunch of Blu-ray movies to get through today, so I'm gonna kind of get through this fairly quickly. Right now, as you can see, my channel's kind of back on the webcam on my iMac. Just had a little technical difficulties, so I changed things up just slightly a little bit, so we can just move on forward and get started with the show. So let's do that. Let's get it going right now. All right. So it's been a while since I had to look straight at the webcam and straight at the screen here. I've been getting used to turning over and looking at my DSLR camera that I have is Canon 60D, and I made it into a webcam. So you can go ahead and check it out and check out my channel, and you can see that it actually changed a lot in my channel and made it look so much better. So I'm kind of bummed right now about that, but we can still keep going and talk about filmmaking and talk about filmmaking on these Blu-rays and what's there to expect on these special features. Today we're talking about Hitman's wife's Bodyguard, and I did see the first one, so did my wife, and we didn't get to see the second one yet. We do have it on our list to see, so if you haven't been here before, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because we do videos like this all the time. We do videos about Blu-ray unboxings and giveaways for movie codes, as well as filmmaking videos, digital filmmaking videos, and anything to do with that as well. Fanboy onto a professional filmmaker. This is what Greenlight does. It gives you the green light to see what there is, the opportunities of making your own film. So that's all it is, just kind of giving you an overview and painting a picture in your head on how to achieve that. So let's move on to our first film today, our first Blu-ray today. So I have this slipcover of the Blu-ray of Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard here, and we do have a back end here today. So this is the slipcover of the Blu-ray here, and give me 1 second. I'm gonna make sure. I just want everybody to have a chance to get on the chat, if anything. Let me see. All right. I guess I'm having technical difficulties across the board here. Um, it just looks like there's nobody. It's not allowing people on chat or something. Yeah, there we go. I need it to be visible. I guess it is visible, and there's just no one on at the moment. I just made it more visible right now for myself. I couldn't see it. So let's move on to the 4K version of this 4K cover. This is all these are stills from Bluray.com, which I have in the description below, the website to Bluray.com, and then a bunch of IMDb links for all these films that we talk about today, so you can check out the filmmakers and check out the trailers and everything like that as well. And then I do have, so this is the 4K. It just has this Dolby Vision type thing going on. And I don't think that's going to be on the 4K exactly, but it could be. I could be wrong. It just looks weird to have it there. But that's okay. Let's move on to the Steelbook versions, and then we can talk about the behind the scenes of the 4K. So this is Hitman's Bodyguard, the first one, and it's released today on Steelbook as well. I believe this is also 4K. Yeah, I think this is also 4K. This is Ultra HD 4K, yes. And so you have the first one here. Excuse me, sorry. Excuse me on that one. And then we have the second movie on Steelbook as well, which I think looks a lot better. I think the pink and purple, that other one looks pretty cool too. But this looks really good. And then we do have the back end for the 4K of this, courtesy of Blu-ray Dan here. So let's check that out. One thing I love about action films is I come from the era of action movies that take 90s action films and stuff like that. So usually everything has a gritty and real quality to it, and a bunch of practical effects and everything like that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here, more or less. I believe I did see like a little bit of the beginning, and he was having like a little dream sequence and stuff like that. So I have a zoomed in version here so we can talk about the special features here. So automatically, the special features here are also included on both the 4K and the Blu-ray. So the first thing I see here is Ryan, Sam, and Selma. So of course Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, and Selma Hayek, one fed up family. So they're definitely going to talk about the characters and how together how they're dysfunctional as a family and everything like that. So very very cool behind the scenes here to check out, just on just seeing how they build their characters together, and sometimes actors bring in more on the table as far as like more character to their character. Usually in scripts and action movies, sometimes there will be character things built in into dialogue, into even the direction or blocking and stuff like that. But then actors tend to bring a little more of their character to the surface that doesn't usually come across from the script. That usually comes out from the director or the actor or both. So this is really cool to see these actors play on their roles a little bit and play off each other and stuff like that. And I'm guessing they're going to talk about that here and how much they enjoy it or get annoyed of each other's little antics. That's what's great. All these guys here, all these actors, they're good at improv. So you're going to get a lot of extra characterizations in this film, especially since this is an action comedy. So I would hope they do welcome stuff like that. They're just welcoming just improv in these scenes. So that's what I'm expecting here, and that's what you should expect here too. And a lot of knowledge bombs on that as well, on just acting and stuff like that. So just pay attention on what they're doing. I mean, just off of what they're saying and things like that, you can tell just how they're bringing the character out and bringing it to life. So moving on to our next thing is Gone Soft, the new Michael Bryce. Michael Bryce is, I believe, the character of Ryan Reynolds here, and he's going through a lot here in this second one, and he's going through therapy after the first movie, basically. So not to give too much away, that's basically what they give away in the trailer, and I believe that's what they're going to talk about here with Ryan Reynolds is basically about his character and where he is in this film. So, and the next thing I see here is Hitman's wife's bodyguard. I believe this is #StuntLife. Very cool. So they're definitely going to get into the stunts here, and most likely getting into how the stuntmen do what they do in these types of films, so they can have all that spectacle in front of the screen. So this is really cool just to see how they set up things and use wires and all their tools and everything just to get the scene the way they get it. And the main thing is to keep everybody safe. And that's one thing that they do cover with these behind the scenes stuntmen stuff and behind the scenes of action movies. And that's what I love about this stuff, because they will go into the stunts, and when they go into the stunts, they're going to show you all this tips and tricks and everything that they do, even if they don't point out at it. A lot of these behind the scenes of these movies are usually they edit them pertaining to the story of the film and everything like that, and they try to keep it more entertaining to a viewer that's not so into filmmaking. So a viewer that is into filmmaking should be looking in between and reading in between the lines, just looking in between the shots, the out of focus shots. So if they're interviewing you, you could see behind them that they use the scrim, they use certain lights and stuff like that, maybe even using a dolly. If you look at the location and everything like that, you can see that they use certain equipment in that scene, depending on what scene it is. Automatically, I see Samuel L. Jackson here and Ryan Reynolds on the floor here. If you see him here on the top, just on that shot alone, you can see that they shot in a location. It could be Venice, it could be whatever, but when you see these behind the scenes shots and interviews, you're gonna see all the equipment behind their heads, which is something you don't see in the movie, obviously, and I hope you don't, and you shouldn't, that should definitely be an error. But that's what's great about these things and these behind the scenes that you find on all these Blu-rays. You just got to read between the lines, and you'll see a lot of really good stuff and a lot of great information for filmmaking. So the next thing I see here is a little bit more straightforward behind the scenes type thing on the set of Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. And since this is all Lionsgate, and I always like pointing out certain companies, certain it's just that certain distribution companies, they just have a certain style in the way they market the films and the way they put out their special features as well. And Lionsgate has done a pretty good job on making these things pretty long and chock-filled with a lot of information, including filmmaking information when it comes to these films. And it's not just focused heavily on the story and heavily on the film itself, the commercial aspect of it, and more of the making of it, and maybe even the camera and equipment they used. So that's very, very cool that this is straightforward here. So they're definitely going to go dive in here on just the straight up making of it, maybe even more of the commercial aspect of the film and making of the film. And then in this stuntman #stunt life, they may go more in depth in the stunt team and everything like that too. You want that. I believe as a filmmaker, you want that information and that type of experience. It's kind of weird because you get to spend time with the crew and everything in these little documentaries, and you get I would say like 10-15% of experience with that if you're really paying attention and taking note. So with all that being said, there's gag reels and then there's theatrical trailers. So that's more or less stuff that you would see all the time on Blu-rays and behind the scenes stuff when it comes to movies and all that stuff too. So with all that being said, let me know in the live chat if you're gonna purchase Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and let me know which copy. Are you gonna get it on Blu-ray? Are you gonna get it on 4K, or is a Steelbook? Is Steelbook your thing? Because Steelbook's my thing. I really like Steelbook 4Ks and collector's editions and stuff like that. And I got a 4K recently of Luca, and I bought it at Target, and it wasn't the Steelbook because I wanted more of the collector feel. I like the paperback sometimes. Reminds me of the old collector's paperback from DVDs and stuff. So let me know in the comments down below of the playback, or in the live chat. Go ahead and hit me up there, and I'll give you a shout out at the end of this live chat of this live video. So the next movie we have today is Mads Mikkelsen's Riders of Justice. Excuse me. I gotta drink some water real quick. So this is out now on Blu-ray, and it's a magnet releasing, and they usually release a lot of more independent type films like this where there's like one star, and they usually call them $1 million picture or something in Hollywood. So you can expect that from this company, from Magnet Releasing. And just with that being said, these movies are usually way more phenomenal than a lot of the big budget movies, especially when it comes to storytelling, because that's all they have is to lean on their story. So highly expect that here. I do not have a back end for this film and most of these movies here, and they don't have behind the scenes as well. So we're going to be going through them fairly quickly. So this is out now on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead and check it out. In the description below, I have IMDb links for Riders of Justice and all the films that we talk about here today, so you can check out the filmmakers, check out the trailers, and check out the cast and crew. All right, so go ahead and let's move on to our next film. And our next film is a Shudder original. It's a horror film. It's called Stay Out of the Attic. If you check it out in the description below after this live video, or after the playback of this video, you check out the IMDb link in the description below for this film, and it'll be called something else. It's called Stay Out of the Effing Attic, I believe. I'm trying not to curse on this channel too much. I know there is one video out there on here on this channel. I won't tell you which one it is that I do throw one F-bomb out there. I've been trying not to and stuff like that. Try to keep it more, a little bit more open just in case, because I have a family myself, so I understand watching these type of videos and stuff like that. You may not have an AirPod or something like that, which is kind of how I started when I was watching these YouTube videos when I was trying to get into making my own YouTube channel. I didn't have AirPods to be listening to Think Media and all these companies, and I mean all these YouTube channels teaching you how to do YouTube. So basically I had to just listen to people that weren't cursing, obviously, and keep note of that. So I try not to do that. But go ahead, in the description below, you can go ahead and check that out and find out the alternate title, which is really cool. And that's why another reason why I love IMDb. It's just more things you learn, for about filmmaking. So, with all that being said, this is in the description below. There is an IMDb link for this film, so you can check it out. Check out the filmmakers, check out the trailer, and check out the cast and crew. So, we're going to move on to our next film. And our next film, I'm kind of interested in this. It has a little, like a sci-fi kind of fantasy thing going on. It looks like I did not check out this trailer, but I do want to see the film just because the main actor, the boy here, he's in a show that my wife watches called This Is Us, and he plays a pivotal character in that show that we love a lot, and we're very, very keen on when it comes to his story. His story is very prevalent in the show, so I'm really expecting some really good acting in this, like from this kid. So I haven't seen a film with kids and fantasy kind of like this in a while, so I'm kind of hoping this is going to be everything that I'm hoping for, because with the certified fresh in the bottom there, I mean, this should solidify it. So this is the Waterman. So I highly recommend checking this out. This goes without saying, Rosario Dawson in here, and then I think his name is David Olo or something. He's up there on the left, on the top left, and that man, he's very talented. He's very, very talented actor here, and I couldn't say much anymore about Rosario Dawson. Rosario Dawson is a classic actor, so basically that's, she's just like one of the best actors out there. So I highly recommend this film. Let me know what your thoughts are too in the comments of the playback or in the live chat if you have seen this film. I'd love to hear about it or have a conversation about it too. So our next film today we're going to be moving on to is The Truffle Hunters. This is a documentary. They said this is one of like the best dog films out there, canine films out there. So I highly recommend checking this out too. Certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I do have IMDb links for this documentary and all these films that we're talking about here today in the description below, and it will have cast and crew, filmmakers, and you can check out the trailers as well. And I'm going to move on to our next film. And our next film, quite exciting. Again, I'm a huge advocate on action films. I love it. Love them, love them, love them. Come from the 90s action movies, so I can watch anything with like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it seems like I totally enjoy those movies. The next film we're talking about here today, and I don't know how good this is or not. I do not judge movies here on this channel. We do not talk about how good certain movies are usually. If I do love it and it is a classic, obviously I point it out, and I do spend most of my time on movies that are educational for filmmakers, and movies that are you would hear a lot about from film school and stuff like that, like Alfred Hitchcock stuff. But this live, and I love doing this, is because I get to cover all these new movies and movies that I haven't heard of yet or have gone straight to Blu-ray, and it happens all the time, and you totally miss them, and these are movies that you starting out as a filmmaker, you may end up having to do these type of movies, you understand? So I haven't gotten to that. Ooh. It's jumping it out. Okay, so I haven't gotten to that point in my career where I am creating movies with big actors like this that I would go straight to Blu-ray. I mean, I can care less where it goes as long as I'm getting paid, right? You know what I'm saying? You get paid, and then and as long as people are seeing it too, that's a huge deal for filmmakers. You know, like right now, I'm happy enough my film's being watched. So this is called Rogue Hostage, and you know it looks pretty good. It has Tyrese Gibson and you got John Malkovich, and if John Malkovich is playing the villain, definitely a movie to go see. So free the hostage or everyone dies. So this is definitely an action film that's out today. Is out today on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead in the description below. I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films that we talk about here today. So let's move on to our next film. So our next film that we're going to be talking about today is The Rebels of PT 218. I'm checking here to see how fast this shows up. It took a while for it to show up on the live stream. Let's see. Let's keep going. So we do not have the back end for this movie, but it is out on Blu-ray today, and it has Danny Trejo. Dang, Danny Trejo is doing a lot of work with Eric Roberts and Billy Baldwin. So these are definitely like three actors that I would want to point out as an independent filmmaker. These are guys that are always working. So they don't seem to be too picky on their scripts, more or less, as long as there's a budget and you can pay them, obviously. So I'm sure there is something like that. Danny Trejo is like doing a lot. He's doing a lot right now. He's an entrepreneur. He's got his own. He's got a couple donut shops in Los Angeles as well. So shout outs to these guys. And Eric Roberts is always working. And then Billy Baldwin. So let's move on. This is out now on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead and check it out. The trailer in the description below. I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films that we talk about here today. So let's move on to our next film today. And our next film today is called Fast Vengeance. This is a movie that actually reminds me of, if you don't recall these films, Romeo Must Die and like Cradle to the Grave, Exit Wounds. These are like Warner Brothers movies that were like these karate action movies with like hip hop infused things, and I'm literally pointing out three that were just focusing on DMX, and I think they mainly did focus on DMX anyways, like Cradle to the Grave, you know, and that was a straight up DMX movie. I actually loved Exit Wounds too. It was one of those movies that were like low key, and it has a lot to do with nowadays and stuff like that too. Just it's really cool. Like I like DMX's character a lot in Exit Wounds. I think a lot more than all his other characters from the other two movies. But these are done by the same filmmakers and stuff. I'm not saying that this is who did this movie. I'm not too sure. But this is what it reminds me of. Let's see the back end of this. There is no making of here, but let's check it out so we can see here, so you can see what I'm talking about. So it automatically, on the top, I just see some street racers here with the motorcycles and stuff. But, you know, with DMX, it just reminds me of that. I'm not saying that this is what it's about, but go ahead in the description below. I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films that we do talk about here today. And you can check out the filmmakers and check out the trailers and everything like that. So you can check out even the cast and crew and the technical specs and see what kind of equipment they used on this film. So with all that being said, let me know what your thoughts are on this film. And have you seen Romeo Must Die? Have you seen Cradle to the Grave or Exit Wounds? Go ahead and let me know in the live chat or in the playback, on the comments of the playback. So let's move on here to our next film. And our next film is an over the seas film. It's called Little Q. It's based on a true story about I believe it's a puppy dog. It says true friends always come when they're called. So that's very cute. I like that. All right, so this is, I believe it's a foreign film. I believe it's a Korean film, but definitely worth checking out here. And since it's based on a true story, I think this might sound a little bit more of a better. No offense to the documentary or something, as the best dog movie, but I like anything that touches my heart. You feel me? When it comes to dog movies, this makes me recall Marley and Me. Almost has this Marley and Me feel, but I'm wondering if this man is blind and he needs this seeing eye dog. So that's very cool. So I really highly recommend checking this one out, and it's out now on Blu-ray. I do have the back end, so you can go ahead and check it out too. Here on the back end here. And it does solidify what I was saying. I think that's his seeing eye dog. Very, very cool film. So go ahead and check out the trailer in the description below. It's out now on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead and check out the filmmakers, check out the cast and crew, and everything like that as well. So let's move on to our next film. Another overseas film, and we have a Korean film here. It's called Midnight Diner. And Midnight Diner is out now on Blu-ray. I do have in the description below, I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films that we talk about here today. So you could check out the filmmakers, check out the trailers and the cast, crew, and everything like that as well. And as you can see here, I just put up the back end as well here. There is no making ofs or special features or anything like that, but I try my best to try to get them just in case they do. So when I do find them and there isn't anything, I just get a little disappointed, a little saddened a little bit because I can't share anything with you guys about that. But we can move on to our re-release today on 4K, and let's do that. Let's fade that in. So a re-release today on 4K is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. What I'm showing you here is the slipcover of the Blu-ray, because it is out on Blu-ray, and I do have the back end of the Blu-ray and not of the 4K. I just don't have the 4K. So let's check out the back end here. And I'm gonna zoom in too. So as you can see there, automatically it's fairly. I mean, it's more or less the same as to their DVDs and stuff like that, and their Blu-rays that are out now that they've been individually releasing and stuff like that. But now that the 4K is out, and this was shot all on film, all 8 of the movies, I believe it's 9 because it's part 2, right? I think in the last one there's a part 2, so I think that's 9. I could be wrong. I think that's 8. So now you see the back end here. It says there's a 2-disc Blu-ray. So it does come with the magical movie mode. So you go through. It says a wondrous new way to experience Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Discover filmmaking secrets, spell incantations, magical creatures and artifacts, and more in this enchanting collection of fun activities and curiosities. Test your knowledge with the Hogwarts trivia challenge and let the magic begin. So the thing that I'm looking forward to, obviously, here is discover filmmaking secrets. So that's the thing that I'm kind of curious about. I'm not too sure exactly how in depth they're going in with this on here, and I'm so curious. I would like to go and just purchase the steelbook myself, because when you see the steelbook in a few minutes, you're going to see how beautiful it looks. It looks awesome, and me and my wife are huge fans of Harry Potter. I mean, we go to sleep to Harry Potter. We put it on just to put ourselves to sleep with Harry Potter, you know, and it's usually the first 2. You know, I like the first one a lot to go to sleep to. My wife likes the second one a lot as well. I love it too. And then the third one's just a little bit scarier, but that's actually my favorite one. So only because the directing and everything like that. I'm a big fan of Alejandro. Oh, well, you know what? Let's just not get into that one. There's this one. So I'm expecting maybe some kind of filmmaking, discover filmmaking secrets. There's got to be, I'm hoping for an hour or something here of like a documentary of behind the scenes of this whole film. But there is like there's like this collector's edition DVD that's out there that I've been kind of searching for, and it's like this extended type of deal, kind of like the extended edition of like the 4-disc extended edition of Lord of the Rings. This was kind of like that too, and it looked like one of Harry Potter's like a luggage trunks, you know, and all that. So let me know in the comments down below or in the live chat or the playback if you know about these collector's editions and stuff like that. But I'm expecting this to have something. I would be very, very upset that Warner Brothers would do that, because Warner Brothers has been big advocates of like behind the scenes and things like that. So I'm really expecting them to do that here because, ooh, I just saw it go red. So yeah, now we're on the steelbook here. So I'm expecting Warner Brothers to really put in a lot here on these 4Ks because the individual DVDs, you look at the back of them and they don't seem to have too much of like special features or anything like that or go into in depth or anything. But the first Harry Potter was tough because when it came out on DVD the first time around, the 2 disc didn't have like an extended amount of behind the scenes or something like that. They had like a couple little like trivias and games and things like that. I believe there wasn't really like much. I think there was maybe one thing, but maybe there was nothing at all. But I'm expecting some actual filmmaking secrets here. So as you see here, the back is beautiful, and so is the front, of course. But the inside, I mean, with the whole platform 9 3/4, me and my wife would just be geeking out. I'm geeking out all over this thing. It looks beautiful, and they have in the front it has Wizarding World on the bottom, in the middle there, and they're just putting Wizarding World all over everything now, which is good because they're kind of like, I guess it's like franchising it all with the Fantastic Beast, and I think there's just one more movie coming out for that one as well. Very cool. So let me know in the comments of the playback or in the live chat if you're gonna purchase these films. Let me know which of these copies of the Harry Potters you're gonna get, or which of the copies of Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard you're gonna get, or are you gonna see the Waterman? Let me know in the comments down below of the live chat or the playback, and let me know, and I'll see you here next time. Go ahead and check out my onset with Greenlight, and you can go and check out a bunch of behind the scenes for Free Guy and Respect, which came out this weekend in theaters, and my behind the scenes did come out this past weekend as well. So go ahead and check those out. Let me know in the comments of those videos, and like this video and like those videos as well, and let me know what your thoughts are so I can keep making more videos just like this, and I'll see you here next time. Later.